Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Purpose Driven Chance. I'm your host, William Grayson, and my other co-host, partner in crime, William Harris. How you doing, Will?
Doing great.
And today we got our special guest, no other than Esau Pritchett. How you doing, sir? How you doing?
Hey, what's happening, y'all? I'm doing well, my brother. How are you?
Fine. How you doing?
Let me say this before we get started. I got to say this one thing, because it's the beginning of the month, brother. It's Black History Month. So happy Black History Month to all the people. Let's get that out the way first of all.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Esau. You have the first question I got. So introduce yourself so everybody know who you are, because your background is very long and I don't want to miss anything. So
yeah,
go ahead.
But I mean, it's simple, man. My name is Esau Pritchett. I'm from Saginaw, born and raised in Saginaw, Michigan, man. I went to Houghton Elementary School, North Intermediate, Arthur Hill High School, born and raised. So I stayed in Michigan until I left it and went away to college at Oakland University outside Detroit.
All right. So first question I got for you is, how do you journey in acting? How did your journey in acting begin? And
accidentally. Like most things, unplanned. Like walking into an open manhole cover. No, man. So I originally went to school, to college, to pursue. I think at the time it was physical therapy, sports medicine. Was taking a bunch of classes. Was bored to death, man. And we had a class where we had to take a class to get easy credits as a filler class. I think it was Intro to Theater. So all we had to do in this class was show up once for the semester. I think we had to go and see a play. And then, that was easy credit. So I ended up, man, messed around and went to see this play and was blown away. Blown away by this form of storytelling that moved me in a way I didn't expect to be moved. So I started fiddling around a bit, man. And I don't know, wondering if that was something I could do. And eventually auditioned for a school play on a dare, actually. Didn't think I was going to get in this. Oh, man, I was like, because I was talking mad trash about how this is so interesting, man. I would love to do this. That's easy to say, to get up there, something different.
Yeah.
So I had a friend of mine who kind of called me on it. So I went to the audition thinking, I'm going to fulfill the bet, but I'm not getting in this play because, I can't act. I don't know nothing about this. And as a matter of fact, it was a Shakespearean play. Didn't know anything about Shakespeare, nothing about the Elizabethan language, none of that. So again, not expected to get cast. Lo and behold, I get cast in the lead.
Whoa.
And that's how I jumped off, brother. Believe it or not, just that weirdly and strangely.
And you've been rolling ever since. All right. What role has the most significant impact on your career? What role was that?
What role? I don't know about career-wise, man, but about art-wise and expression-wise, I would probably say One Night in Miami by Kim Powers. So I don't know if you know the play. It's the play about Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, Jim Brown, and Muhammad Ali. These men were actual friends back in the day. So a brother named Kim Powers wrote a play about them imagining what it would be like to be inside the hotel room after Ali won the heavyweight championship, because they actually did that. They were there. So he wrote this play. I got a chance to play Jim Brown. And when I was coming up, man, Jim Brown was my father's hero. He was like Superman, So basically me playing Jim Brown was playing my father's superhero. It don't get no better than that.
Right.
And then also, once I got connected to August Wilson, my first August Wilson show was Fences. The thing that Denzel and Viola did, everybody's seen the film, but originally it was a play. And I got a chance to play that character that Denzel played, Troy Maxson. So that was so close to home. And as a matter of fact, the way the brother was written, this dude in the play is about 10 or 15 minutes away from where my father was born and raised in Alabama. So black folk, Troy Maxson, we know who Troy is. We all do. Somebody got Troy in their family, their uncle, their somebody. So to connect with somebody like that on such a personal level, was seismic for me, man. It's profound, because most of the time, somebody like me, I'm doing a lot of classical theater. So I'm playing some of the big European, basically a bunch of white dudes, to be honest with you. You know, I can't relate to a certain degree, but here I am playing one of us in a way that's close. So that's the thing that affected me most in terms of the art and expression, you know.
Okay.
Esau,
You.
how much of an impact coming out of Saginaw, Michigan, has made an impact in your life and where you are today?
My brother, thank you for that question. Yeah, that's the question right there. Now I might be biased, man, but I feel like we came up in Saginaw at this little sweet spot, right? Saginaw is a special place. We all know that. Unless you deeply in the community in Saginaw, you can't really understand how we roll and what we about. So you know, we survivors, we hard workers, right? But at the same time, there's like this robust intellectual community in Saginaw. There's a robust community of people who are about, you know, knowledge of self, Black empowerment, all these things. And I was coming up, you listen, Black History Month was the bomb in schools on the East Side when I came up. Everybody came out, showed out. We had talent shows. It was all about connecting to the ancestors, connecting to the culture. And also, I think that little sweet spot we came in, most of my teachers, when I was in elementary school, were Black women from the South, college graduates, right? So generally speaking, back then, that was kind of the ceiling for them. They're going into education. Maybe the ceiling is being a principal. But many of these women, man, they had advanced degrees. They could have been CEOs. They could have been doctors. They could have been physicists, right? But there was a ceiling for them at that time. But luckily for us, they landed in our schools. So they were ready to get us ready for everything, man. So when I left Houghton Elementary School, with the, what they call it, reading, writing, arithmetic, on jam, on point, ready, can deal with anybody. So once I went to middle school and started dealing with other folks, I realized how well prepared we were coming from Saginaw, right? I think about the fact in the Saginaw schools, man, we had band. You got an instrument for free. I've been playing saxophone now for 30 years. Wouldn't have happened if I didn't get that saxophone, from Saginaw. That's the way they did it back then. Even me acting, most of this came from when we would have Black History Month programs in school and whatnot, or different events around Saginaw, where I was doing speeches by Dr. King, by Malcolm X, by Maya Angelou. So all that stuff started in Saginaw. And I want to be clear about that, because sometimes people mistakenly think that my training came from maybe a college. I was trained before I got there. I had been on stage. I had been in front of people. I had been coached up by people in Saginaw, my mother and my father, well before getting into Oakland University and getting into acting. But in terms of art, expression, empowerment, those kinds of things, man, I don't know if it would be that if I hadn't grown up in Saginaw. Honestly, I don't know.
Esau, in 2017, The Prodigal Son, you played the role of Mr. David. That kind of took your career off. Tell me a little bit, how did you get that leading role, and how much that role meant to you as far as when you look back on your career?
Yeah, it's interesting, man. The way this career thing works. So you're right. Probably when I became most noticed, that show was pretty big, right? It was a big show. It was on network TV. Mr. David didn't do much. I used to tell this joke that, in the hood, we call it Mr. David and the Crazy White Folks. That's the name of that show. Because I just stand around looking at, what is wrong with these people? But again, a role like that is what we call, you get that role because you get to be seen after paying your dues. Now, I'm on Prodigal Son playing Mr. David. Again, I don't do much. I don't do much at all. But in terms of my pay, right? In terms of my visibility, all of these things are ginormous. So I show up at that show. I got about a line or 2 or 3 every episode. Don't take much work, y'all, really. But that's the thing that puts me on, because that's the way it works. Now, prior to that, I'm out there. I'm doing Othello. I'm doing all the big shows, 8 shows a week, require all types of memorization and concentration and focus. And I'm getting paid Kool-Aid and potato chips, you know.
Yeah.
But getting through that, and like you said, Prodigal Son was probably the thing that made me most visible to a lot of people, because so many people were watching that show. It was popular. But I had been doing some guest starring roles on a bunch of different shows, you know, all throughout my career.
All right. Have you ever turned down a role because it didn't align with your purpose or values?
Always. Yeah, 1,000 times.
Which one of them? Give me a couple of them.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, so I was fresh out of college, just getting out of college, and there's this acting competition that they have in the university. It's called the Irene Ryan Acting Scholarship. So what you do is they select a couple of people from each production, from each school. They choose you to represent your school. You have to present a monologue, you get a scene partner, and then you go and compete. And if you win your region, then you go to the next region, then you go to the nationals at the Kennedy Center, and then they choose the overall winner. So I won that when I was in school. So it's supposed to be a pretty big deal, you know. It's all kind of agents there, man, and people from TV. So I did a scene from Othello, and I did a monologue from a play called I Am a Man by a brother named Oyama. It's about Dr. King, you know, some heavy stuff, man. So we're excited. I get home. I get a call from CBS casting. They had a CBS casting. And they're really, really excited, man. And she's telling me, oh, my God, I'm so excited. She was there. She saw me perform. And I'm really, really excited about you. We just can't wait. We want you to come in and read for this. We think you a shoe in. It's perfect for you. So, brother, I'm hyped. You know, this is the first type of look like I get something like that, man. I'm just can't believe it, right?
Right.
So I ended up getting the script, my man. The script is about this brother who rapes and kills his white woman and goes to prison. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you just saw me do a scene from Othello. You just saw me do a powerful black monologue from I Am a Man. And the only thing that you can think is that I am perfect for this brother who kills and rapes his white woman. Now, as you can imagine, back then, there was a whole bunch of controversy, man. People was like, yo, bro, you got to take that. It is what it is.
Yeah, you know,
no, we don't do that.
Take the money. Take the money.
No, we don't do that. I told people all the time. I always tell young people this. And I know sometimes people are, you know, they'll say something like, oh, man, I see what you've been doing. I see you on this show. Oh, man, I would do anything. I'll stop them. I said, don't never say that. It's important. Remember, semantics are important. There's 1,001 things I would not do to be here. Make sure that that's the primary thing that's here. Because Esau is Esau all the time. There's nothing that changes me from being me. Anything Esau ain't going to do in Esau's life, Esau ain't going to do. I'm not ambitious. I'm not. I tell people all the time, I'm passionate. I ain't ambitious. Because ambition requires sometimes you know, relaxing of those ethical parameters that you put on yourself. And we don't relax those, man. And again, that's a Saginaw thing.
Yeah. So how important is diversity in the roles you pick?
It's important because the thing is, you know, we have a different challenge as black actors. Because of the way that we have been framed, right, for so long, who we are, what we're about, how we represented and presented in media and television. Listen, man, I ain't got no problem playing anything. I'm an actor. That's what I do. I observe, you know, humanity, and express it through me to y'all. So it ain't like it's a problem that I play a pimp or I play a thug. But that's not all I'm gonna play. So my thing was, until I know that I'm going to play other kinds of roles, then I ain't playing none of that. I ain't playing none of that. In terms of some of the stuff that I feel like are kind of hung around black men's neck, man, in this society, in this culture, certain things that, you know, somebody always wants you to be in a dress and things like that. Yeah, no, I'm not interested. Nah, go find somebody else.
Have you been?
That's not me making some type of political statement or statement against anybody and what they do. What I'm saying is that if it's always necessary for me to be in a dress, and that's the problem. So I ain't gonna be in one. You'll go find somebody else. Right? Simple as that. So things like that, man.
There you go.
Power Book 2, Esau, Raising Kanan.
Yes, sir.
How challenging has that been for you?
Very challenging, man, because, you know, my hypocrisy knows no bounds if I'm playing a police officer. Woo! No, it's pretty straightforward, man. You know, Captain Baptiste, captain of the police force, kind of standard 1980s, just grumpy, tired, cigarette laden, coffee drinking, cussing everybody out. That's about it. That's easy. You know, it's pretty straightforward.
How much do you value family?
I value family above everything, man. I was, again, you know, just blessed. I came up, both my parents were together for the entire time that I was coming up. They were married until my father passed a few years ago. So dad was always in the home. Father was always very involved. Mother always very involved. So it's kind of like a default position for me. I don't really know anything else, right? The way I came up, it was family, 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 family. Just automatic.
How do you prepare yourself for new roles that are different than your personality?
So what I do is the first thing I do is judge the hell out of the character I'm about to play, because that's what we do. Once I do that, then I can determine and establish, okay, I'm judging this character like this, so I got to get that out. I can't judge the person I'm playing. The decisions that this brother's making, the things that he's doing, that ain't Esau. Your ego is hard sometimes, man. Ego is hard. You'll be playing the character and inside your mind, making dumb decisions, and me, I ain't being dumb, the character being dumb. So I have to decide again to fully invest in the character I'm playing and his perspective, his moral code, right? All these things that may be different from mine. So once I separate that out, it becomes pretty easy. I just have to commit. If he a damn fool, I got to commit to the feeling and understanding and believing in who I am, even as a damn fool. It can be tough sometimes, but you get used to it.
How do you know when you're not separating the two? Like, you know, you're like, wait a minute, I'm borderline right here. I'm still playing this person. I've been playing. Have you ever?
Here's how I know. Somebody asked me an interesting question one time, man. I had not even thought about it. It was kind of a personal thing where somebody had said, hey, you know, he's an actor. So how do you know? I mean, he must be a very good liar. How can you be with an actor? Because they lie so well. I had never even thought. I'm like, well, damn. And then I thought, I said this to myself. I said, no, that's not how it works. This is how it works. If I'm being an actor, I cannot lie to y'all because y'all know. Listen, we all in on this, right? Y'all suspending your disbelief. You know I'm playing the character. I'm not the character, so I'm not lying. There's no way I'm lying. What we do as actors, like I just said, as I invest in the character, the way the acting is going to be good or bad is if you catch me lying or you catch me telling the truth, right? So if I'm convincing to you in the role that I'm playing, what's happening is I'm believing so much that I'm being truthful and I'm telling the truth. When you see bad acting, what you see is you see people lying. You see people not honest in the space that they're in. You feel me? They're awkward. The lines come out because they're not invested, they're not connected. They're lying in what we do. See, when I'm as an actor, I express to go completely in. I got to tell the truth. Tell the truth. You know, it's counterintuitive, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will.
Esau, you're multi-talented, multi-diversified.
Yes, sir.
Thoughts of a Colored Man.
Thoughts of a Colored Man.
On Broadway. You've been on Broadway.
My man.
How was that experience doing that play?
Man, it was just a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. And it was one of those things that was unexpected, you know, something that happened to me. Like I said before, I'm not ambitious. I'm passionate. Right. So Broadway is not something that I really care about. If it happens, it happens. The work is good, and then but the whole spectacle, the whole institution, I'm just a different kind of dude when it comes to that. So lo and behold, this play falls out of the sky, out of the blue, right? First all black cast, directed, produced, designed, whole nine black men in the history of Broadway. And I just happened to trip into that somehow. So there was an actor, what's his name? Y'all know the brother, is it Keith David? Y'all know Keith David, brother with deep voice. He was the voice of like the Gargoyles. Anyway, he's a big theater guy doing a bunch of stuff. Something happened. He was cast originally in it. Yeah. And he had to pull out for some type of family situation at the last minute, right before they started rehearsals. So the day after my birthday, I get a call from the producers offering me the role, and the rehearsals began like in 2 days. So all the rest of the cast members, they've had their script for months and whatnot. We got to put this thing on stage in about 3 weeks, about 3.5 weeks. So first of all, my first big Broadway thing is a rush job for me. I'm coming in late. I like to study my script, 6 months, no, you got 3.5 weeks to get this thing together. But the beautiful thing I loved about this is one of the reasons why they called me to do it is because my reputation preceded me in how I work and how I prepare.
Your work ethic.
Yeah, work. They knew. They called around and said, we need a guy who we know will be ready on opening night and we ain't got to worry. And to a man, they all said Esau Pritchett. So that made me feel good, man. It make me feel good about me, make me feel good about us, about Saginaw. And there's even a line in the play that my character says that kind of reflects that. What is it? Your reputation walks in the door before you do. I say that to one of these young men in the play. And so for me, as being an actor in my career, the fact that people know who I am, anybody can call me for no nonsense, man. If they're not gonna call me for a situation that ain't kosher, that ain't right, because they already know I ain't the one. So if you want to call me to come in to be a professional, I don't know if y'all love me. I'm a lover, man. I love on everybody, hug the hell out of everybody. This is get that from my father, get it from Saginaw. It's genuine. We're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be a professional situation. Everybody gonna be safe. Ain't nobody gonna be disrespected. I'm not participating in any situation unless it's that. And everybody who know me or know of me knows that. So I come into this situation, Thoughts of Color, man. Beautiful cast, brother. I mean, these young brothers just talented, just unreal. I'm sitting there just so proud, right? Yeah. And I'm finally at the point where I don't know how this happened, y'all. All of a sudden, you become the OG. Like you was younger then. Next thing you know, it's like, hey, OG, and it's you. It's me. So I played the OG character in this particular play. And brother, Broadway ain't never been that black. It ain't never been that black. You look out into a Broadway play and all you see is it was Chocolate City up in there. We was having a great time. And one of the things that we had to prove that we shouldn't have to is that Broadway, sometimes the money people always try to say that there's not a market for us, right? They can't sell us. Yeah, you can. All you got to do is put us up there and give us, let us be genuine about who we are. So the thing about our show is that there was no input from anybody except for the brother, Kanan Ivory II, that wrote it, right? So ain't no producer, no what, shut up. Here's the artist. This brother's, we telling our stories. It ain't about nobody else. No, we're not going to put any other people in it. No, that kind of thing. That never happens, man. So again, I got real lucky. Just a blessing, man. It's a blessing.
Who is Esau the father?
Who is Esau the father?
Yes.
Esau the father is, I got 3 teenage sons, man. My oldest boy, Miles. My middle son, Coltrane. My baby boy, Parker. So obviously, I'm a jazz influence. So they all named after jazz musicians.
Yes.
Really, really good relationship with my sons, man. When I was coming up as a young actor, there were times when my then wife was working, or she might have been pregnant, and I couldn't really be on the road, right? No way. So we switched roles at some point, and she was working. I was at home with my son for about, I think I took 3-4 years off of acting completely. Wouldn't travel, wouldn't do anything. I wanted to be home with my boys, raising them. So the only thing I would do is if it was something that was quick, few days, television, something like that. So I got a chance to go through the process of being with them young boys every single day. You know what I mean? It's on the domestic side of things. But it was a blessing. First of all, it let me know how we be tripping. We have no idea how hard it is. Do you do it? You don't know. But another thing, bonded. I think there was a bonding process with me and my sons that happened that might not have happened if that had not been the case. So my boys grew up here. They're back in Michigan with their mother now. We're not together anymore, but they're in Michigan, and I'm here. My oldest boy is 17, man. He's up in Michigan playing basketball. Look, I'm 6'5". That young brother is 17. He's 6'8" already. Just,
Woo!
Giant. Yes. So they're doing well, man. They're beautiful young kids. Sometimes I just think about, how does this happen, man? How do you get blessed? There ain't no formula for this, right? I know some people who are beautiful, beautiful people. Maybe their kids don't turn out to be nice folk. We don't know why. I don't know, but my boys are just handsome, good looking like their father, and but really, really good dudes, man. Just some good, loving human beings. I can't ask for nothing but that, right? I'm like, that's the game. That's the game for me.
Looking forward, this is my last question for you.
Okay.
Looking forward, what kinds of roles and projects are you seeking to align with your ambition? Trying to get the exclusive right now.
You get the exclusive?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the exclusive.
You gotta get the exclusive.
The exclusive. What job?
I'm gonna give you a little bit of an exclusive for you. It's not anything that's set in stone, but one of the things that is difficult in this business, unless you're willing to take the next step, and say, as an actor, I basically have to wait for what comes through, right, to determine what I want to play or what story I want to tell. The next courageous step for actors like me is to write something, right? To write something for yourself. Yeah. Maybe even do a one-man show. Now, brother, as much as I can open myself up, Fantasyland and other people, there's a whole nother can of worms you have to open up oneself, right? To make a decision if I'm going to tell my story. It's funny, like I said before, life passes you by so quickly. Not that life's past, I'm 50, but all of a sudden I look back at the people will talk about it, and it's been a blur. But the number of things I've done, the places I've been in this business, it is a story that can be told and would be compelling. I think it's interesting. You don't think about it as you living. You're too busy living, right? But now that I sit back and relax a little bit, I'd be like, well, damn, y'all, it's amazing I'm still here. I'm all of us got that kind of story, right? So I think, my brother, one of the things that it frightens me a little bit is doing a one-man show, or maybe coming up with something that's so very personal that in order for me to do it, I'd have to put a lot out there. So thinking about that, and if I decide to get it done, since you got the first scoop, I'm gonna hit you up, and you get that the inside edition.
Yes.
You get the inside baseball.
No. Will, you got one question?
That means I get to call you up late at night, raving like crazy, man.
Hey, you got the number. I'll send Leslie after you.
Esau, my last question.
Yes, sir.
Growing up, and even still today, who was your idol?
My big brother and my father. I was blessed, man, to have these mentors, these people in my life. My big brother was just, the coolest thing on earth to me. And my father, same thing. I wanted to be like them, right? So I don't know if you all know, my older brother Enos was a kind of a prodigy, a superstar swimmer of all things. A black swimmer. What? But my brother he was that dude. And I remember when he was young, we both started swimming together. I was a few years younger, and he was horrible. My man, we used to go to swim meets, and it'd be so long before he got out of the pool. When the race was over, the people started clapping. They started clapping for him like he finished. And I remember thinking, why does he do this, man? Why he keeps, he's awful. Why? Something about that brother, something about him. He just always knew that if he worked harder than everybody, that he would get better. I don't know if he knew he would be record-breaking, legend, but somewhere in his head, he just knew he'd get better. Within a couple of years, my brother was smoking everybody to this side of the country in swimming. Just from that, I don't know, maybe that's his talent, that God-given gift, that thing of, I'm just going to try. So that was such an example to me, man. That was kind of an inside baseball thing I knew about my brother that other people did not know. Right. That he was not somebody who was just good. Because for some of the things that were my talents, I feel like some of those things came easy to me, right? Sometimes you get some things you don't have to work for. So to watch my brother, can't nobody tell me he was talented, because he wasn't. And he's smoking everybody who's supposed to be talented because he outworked all of them, right? All of them. So yeah, I respect my brother, respect the hell out of him. He's just a hell of a man. My father, the same thing, man. Greatest man I've ever known. Introduced me to the world of of books and poetry, of social consciousness, right? All these things. My father was all over it, all about it. He was basically a Renaissance man before his time, man.
All right, then. That wraps up, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of Purpose Driven Champs. I'm your host, William Grayson, along with William Harris. And today, we had the pleasure of interviewing Esau Pritchett. Thanks again, brother. Thanks again.
Hey, man, I got you. I appreciate y'all. Hey, I appreciate what y'all doing, man. This is fantastic. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we need to be doing right here. So anytime y'all need, man, I'm here to support. Holla at me.
All right.
Appreciate you, Esau.
Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Y'all be well.
You too. Bye-bye.